Hello guys, this is me Simo Orahara, and in this video I want to talk about the most underrated characters by Kobo. Even though these characters are strong and important, Kobo didn't give them enough screen time, and I will start with T-Sai. If we counted how much this character appeared throughout the events of the story in 686 chapters, I think we'll only find it in a few scenes. Even though T-Sai was the captain of the Kiryu division, and we all know the capabilities of this division through what his vice captain Hachigen presented against Baragan, and through some few scenes T-Sai showed us when he used that level of Bakodo on Ichigo at the beginning of the story, and his use of the forbidden teleportation technique that controls the time and space. And after that, we haven't seen anything else from this amazing character. Not a single fight of T-Sai through the whole story. He didn't even appear in a single scene in the last arc. I mean, we could have seen a lot from this character. I honestly don't like it when someone says that the characters doesn't like to appear and that's why it didn't. Like, come on guys, at the end of the day, these are all fictional characters, and T-Sai was given a strong position in the past. The Kiryu squad captain. As a writer, I would find many ways to make T-Sai fight, because this is the end of the story. We have to see more about this character, so we can see some of his technique in battle, and we could even know some of his past with Kisuke, and throughout his past, we can discover something about Kisuke, but unfortunately, it appears as if Kobo completely forgot about T-Sai in the last arc.
さよなら。世界でただ一人、私を喜ばせた人よ。
Yachiro Onohana. Throughout the story until chapter 520, we have only known Rizzo as the nice woman whose sole purpose is healing, even though Kobo had put her in the Arankara arc with the trio Byakuya, Zaraki and Mayuri. However, as I said, her role as a healer left her out of the most important points of the story and out of fighting in general. We knew little to nothing about her, other than she was captain of the 4th division and that she was one of the oldest captains. But after chapter 520, that was a shock to everyone. It appears that she was actually the first Kenpachi and that her real name was Yachiro, and that she was part of the first Gochi squad led by the monster Yamaji, and also she was an amazing warrior and a great sword woman. Of course, after this bomb that Kobo shot about Rizzo, everyone expected to see more about this new side, but the weird thing is that after Kobo showed us the truth of Yachiro, he made her fight Zaraki to train him only to die by his hand after that. Just like that, without considering what he offered us about that character. I mean, and that's my personal opinion, I would have liked it if Kobo kept her more for us to see her monster side, but unfortunately it didn't happen.
僕たちへ人クインシーはやすやすと血を流すべきではないんだ。
Ryokan always has been a mysterious character, especially with his little participation throughout the story, where in the first arc his role was very small in the events of Yuryu's first appearance. We just had the idea that he and his son are the only ones left as a Quincy before we knew about Yuhaba, and in the Arankara arc he only appeared in the beginning when he trained his son to get his power back, and we also knew that he and Ishin were friends. Anyway, all his appearances were of a strong nature for his cold character, and I understand why he wasn't put in those arcs, because it was about Shinigami and Espada and other stuff that Ryokan wouldn't care about, being a character that doesn't get involved in the Shinigami stuff. But the biggest disaster and the biggest disappointment was when we entered an arc that was all about Quincy. We all expected that we will finally see Ryokan's power and we will see details and secrets about him and his family, being that this arc is more about him than the Shinigami for many reasons. The arc is about Quincy, his son is involved with Yuhabach, and Yuhabach was the reason behind his wife's death. So at the beginning of the arc, I was expecting Ryokan to show up here, he could appear in this event, he could appear in the next, until we start feeling that the time was passing by and the chances that he would appear started vanishing. But when he appeared in chapter 674, we said despite everything he appeared in the last battle, and we would see a legendary fight of him and Ishin as well. So I thought that he would face Harzvald alongside with Yuryu, and Ishin would face Yuhabach alongside with Ichigo. But the surprise was Ryokan only gave Yuryu a a fucking arrow and that's it. It's true that the arrow that he made was the direct reason for Yhwach's defeat. Okay, if you want to make the arrow one of the reasons of Yhwach's defeat, do it with a good building, good foreshadowing to such important event, and by that we could have seen Ryokan in a better way, especially that we knew that he is an important factor in the Quincy events. His father was Sokin, and the mystery folds the latter from every direction, and I will make a video about him. Kobo didn't give Ryokan what he deserves as a character, and this is why I think Ryokan is one of the most underrated characters.
あんまり舐めてもらっちゃ困るぜ。若造には負けねえよ。
Kurosaki Ishin or Shiba Ishin. When you see the hero's father in other shonen stories, you find that the father character stays important until the end of the story and doesn't just appear in a flashback. Minato had a huge role in the last events of the story, and the same with Dragon in One Piece, and we were supposed to see the same thing with Ishin, especially that we know that Ishin has a lot to show us, like his Bankai and why he knew about the final Getsuga Tensho. Not to mention that Ishin has every right to be in the events of the last arc. I mean, Yhwach killed his wife Masaki, the same wife he sacrificed everything for her. So I wanted to see a battle of Ishin versus Yhwach, where he would showcase all of his powers, at least a Shanaita, and even maybe do a final Getsuga Tensho. Unfortunately, same as Ryokan, Kobo didn't put him in the events.
私らの義にはソウルソサエティの歴史が詰まってる。
The Zero Squad members. Of course, here I will exclude Ichibi. We all know the Zero Division is one of the most mysterious and important points in Bleach that everyone was dying to see. And now their members and their powers. And it happened in chapters 516 when Zero Squad appeared for the first time with its 5 characters in the series after it was destroyed by Yhwach. In the next chapter it appears that every member of the Zero Squad had a history and a relationship with a character in the series like Kirinji and Rizzo and Shutara and Mayuri and Hikofuni and Hiraku, and this was a sign from Kobo that he may make some flashbacks about every member and so we could know more about them, and I personally was expecting Kobo to make each member in a volume cover, the same way it happened with Ichibi. I mean, the Zero Squad was one of the most important games Kobo could play to make the last arc events more powerful, especially as I said, every member shared a past with another character. I mean, imagine if Kobo had only uncovered Ichibi's past, we would have seen him in a flashback in the original world, because as it was said in the novel, Ichibi existed even before the 3 worlds, Soul Society, Wii Commando and the Real World. And we would have also known the Soul King's character before he used his power to divide the world, and if we got a flashback about Kirinji, we would have known more details about his relationship with Onohana and how she gave up her Kinpachi title, and also Shutara's relationship with Mayuri. And so what Kobo presented about the Zero Squad was so little compared to what is actually in there. And so guys, this was my list of the most underrated characters in Bleach. If you have any other characters, please tell me about them in the comments, and see you guys in my next video.